Good evening, Facebook Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you're tuning in, love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. Let me get Instagram going real quick. Instagram, nice to see you all as you're tuning in. Love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. Today is day number 28 of our 100-day personal performance and business growth challenge here online. And we're going to be talking about your level of influence. This is really important for business owners, for parents, for people in sales, for students, for pretty much everybody. I mean, influence is something that you really have to focus on if you really want to have a high quality experience in life. And if you want to have high quality options, you're going to want to really focus on influence. And let's see, Bradley, hello from Newcastle. Grateful for my education, or this education. Glad to share, Bradley. Welcome. Chris Harding, nice to see you. Heidi, welcome. Pete, welcome. Who else is on here? Andy, welcome. Matt, welcome. Simon, welcome. Miss Bowden, welcome. And again, as you're tuning in, love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. Pet Planet, welcome. Nice to see you. So let's see. As we get started, we're going to dive in. Strong glasses. Thank you. Blue light blockers. So we're going to dive in and talk about levels of influence. And hello from Wales, Simon. Levels of influence. So to start off, a basic level of influence, and let's do a yes or no in the comment section. Pete, hey man, been following you from the beginning from London. Grateful for your positive postings. Hey, glad to share. So let's do a yes or no in the comment section. Really simple. Do you, if we look at your level of influence, we're going to start off with yourself. Meaning, this is a yes or no question. Do you have the ability to influence yourself? Meaning, when you say you're going to do something, I'm going to work out every day for the next 30 days. I'm going to make X calls per day. I'm going to generate X revenue in my business. I'm going to do X amount of loving things for my spouse. I'm going to do X amount of things to help my children. When you say you're going to do something, have you built the muscle? Have you built the muscle in order to influence yourself to do what you said you're going to do? So this is a yes or no question. And not sometimes, not if I like it, not every now and then, like yes or no. Have you built the muscle to influence yourself to do and stay accountable for what you said you're going to do? Have you built this muscle yet in your life? So let's see. I got our first yes. I got a no from Pete. Simon, I think yes, but actually no. If you have to think about it, if you have to justify it, if you have to put it on a sliding scale, the answer is no. Yes, but not 100% of the time. That's a no. Grading scale, solid 8. That's a no. So for most people, Bradley says no over here on Facebook. So for most people, this is a life-changing concept. Like this will transform your world if you take this from a no to a yes. And so the question is, how do we go about influencing ourself? And this is where you have to align a few things. Number one, values. You have to know your own values. What's most important to you in life? What's most important to you in life? So if you know your own values, when you say you're going to do something, you have to immediately link it to what's most important to you in life. So number one is values. Do you have the ability that when you say, I'm going to work out every day for the next 30 days, you say, okay, great. Great goal, a great dream, but it's not worth much unless you have a plan or a strategy. So how do we get yourself in the position that you're actually going to do it? It starts off with saying, well, first off, I need to get leverage on myself, which is using what's most important to me as fuel to drive me. So I've got to ask myself, what's most important to me in life? What's most important to me in this, what I'm about to do? What's most important to me? Now, based on what's most important to you, you then have to link it up. You have to link in your brain that if your family is what's most important to you, by exercising every day for the next 30 days, it's going to help your family. It's going to benefit the ones you love. It's going to cause them to have a better life, more options in life, for them to be inspired and follow through. You're going to have to come up with 25 to 50 reasons why doing what you said you're going to do is going to help you stay in absolute alignment and experience more of what's most important to you in life. The moment you do that, it will no longer be a challenge because you will be inspired, compelled, pulled, drawn to go do this right now, to make it happen right now. So that's the first thing. You got to link it up to your values. Number two, you got to learn how to use pain and pleasure as your fuel. So you got to build what I call rocket fuel. And if you want rocket fuel for results, we talk about this in my book, which should be right over my shoulder right there. If you want rocket fuel for results, you got to learn how to stack pain, and you got to link up mental and emotional pain to not taking action right now. And then you got to link up tons of pleasure, tons of amazingness to taking action right now. And you got to condition this every day. You don't do it once and go, okay, I'm done. Every day you got to commit to conditioning painful consequences if I don't take action right now, and positive rewards, positive consequences if I do take action right now. And you got to stack the pain and then stack the pleasure, and then stack the pain and then stack the pleasure, then stack the pain and then stack the pleasure, until you find yourself in action, in motion, doing exactly what you said you're going to do. So number one is you got to link up your most important values to doing it. Number two, you got to build rocket fuel for results. Number three, you then have to make it easy. Lots of people screw this one up because they're so proud of themselves when they do something hard. There's some research that shows if you can make the activation of what you're trying to do happen in 20 seconds or less, 20 seconds or less, you don't want to have to think about it. You know, all it takes is 20 seconds of absolute courage and you can transform your life. I think that was the quote from the movie, We Bought a Zoo. But you want to make it, the activation of it, 20 seconds or less. So what does that mean? If you say, I'm going to wake up and work out, most likely you're going to have to sleep in your gym clothes or have them set out by the bed right next to you because you want to wake up, put it on, out the door, 20 seconds or less. You don't want to have the ability to think your way and justify your way out of doing it. So number one, you got to link it up to your highest and most important values. Number two, you got to build rocket fuel using pain and pleasure to drive yourself to action. You got to condition it daily. Number three, you got to make it easy, 20 seconds or less. And number four, you got to use the ability to make it into a habit. And to build it into a habit, which means you got to create a trigger, something that's going to spark the thought that I have to do it now. You need a routine of exactly what you're going to go do, and then you need a reward of how you're going to how you're going to reward yourself for actually doing it right now. So those are the steps. So I'm going to leave you with this for the day. I want you to go practice. There's 4 steps. Link it up to your highest values. Use pain and pleasure to build emotional rocket fuel. Make it easy and make it into a habit with a trigger, a routine, and a reward. Use this. Take something you know you need to do but you've been avoiding and go do it right now. Use these 4 things. Get yourself in the motion. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to influence level number 2, which is if you influence yourself, then you got to influence another person when you're there. Eventually, you'll influence people even when you're not there, but we're going to start with influencing yourself today. So kick some butt, have some fun, go influence yourself to action. Someone type this up in the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you later.